So here we have the New Balance 1906r, and this is a CAYL, Golden Fire Yellow. And it's a collab with Climb As You Love, which is a Korean brand, and they focus on more sort of outdoor activity wear. And it's more inspired by the climbing, trail and hiking clothing, so you can sort of see that on the box. It's got branding, which I think New Balance normally do a good job with their collabs and provide sort of a premium box. It's got that nice sort of soft sort of feel of the box. And then the logo, you can see it's got the combination of both the CAYL and New Balance logo. The sneakers as well give that sort of trail vibe as well. And these 1906Rs were originally released in 2022, so it was a newly introduced model at the time. And it's based on the year of when New Balance were created or formed back in 1906. And at the end of the day, it was made as a, I suppose, as a running shoe. It takes sort of inspiration from the Y2K trend. And then also this particular model has TPU overlays, which these panels here, as you can see, this is normally a kind of leather or synthetic leather that's sort of sewn on top in terms of the panels, but with this one it's got a fused overlay, you know, on the sneaker itself, which gives it a kind of cool look and almost sort of that translucent effect. And the only other pair that I've seen this is the New Balance 1906R Action Bronson Rosewater pair. And the midsole outsole is from 860 V2, so this trainer and the 2002R borrow the tech from that particular trainer. And with the details, it comes in a golden fire and yellow and black. So you can see the black that's on here. And I imagine the golden fire is this overlay, fused overlay colour that they've got going on. Underneath that is the actual mesh itself, which is kind of more of the yellow colour. And this has an Acteva Lite midsole cushioning. So this is the top half of the midsole. So this provides, I guess, the cushioning really. Not too soft, but also quite sort of neutral. And it also has ABZORB in the midsole as well, which I think is the bottom half, or it might be the other way around. But this feels quite sort of soft to the touch, so I think maybe this is the ABZORB part of it. And then you also have the N-ergy cushioning system. So this is the gel-like pods that you see on the heel, and this provides basically impact protection and a little bit of cushioning as well. And I find it works very well on foot. And it also has a stability web outsole technology, so this is the TPU plate that you see running through here, and it stops the sneaker from just twisting really, and that kind of then helps provide you with overall support and stops your ankle twisting. And it also has an N-lock locking system, so you can sort of see on here, when you pull on this laces to make them tighter, it kind of closes the midfoot area to be more locked down feel for your foot. And it's got, like I said, mesh and synthetic upper material, so it's mainly sort of fused upper overlays. And then also this material feels more like a ripstop material, so it's got that sort of mesh breathability, but also more ripstop style. And you can probably hear that it's kind of got that nylon-y feel to it. And it should prove pretty waterproof, considering it's made as a hiking type piece of footwear. And the price for these are £150. So in terms of comfort and sizing, much like any other New Balance, soft to medium side. And what I will say, that is quite sort of neutral on foot. This feels maybe slightly firmer than some of the other 1906s that I've put on, and only slightly. And it might just be me, and you might just need sort of breaking in. But from what I feel, it feels a little bit firmer from that respect, but still sort of more on the medium side and quite sort of neutral. And because this is made as a runner, and New Balance do well on this, they have a good sort of arch support and heel support. So because your heel is obviously sitting in here and over this sort of three-tier cushioning system, it does work well. You can go true to size on these. I think for being a wide footer, I tend to go up half size. And you know, the UK sizes correlate really well for New Balance. So for me, going up half size, it's the same size as a Nike trainer for me. So, but I know in the US it kind of works out differently, and you may sort of look at going half size down because the way the trainers' sizes correlate, it seems to be a bit off. And no wear in time, because it's got this ripstop type mesh upper and it's quite sort of loose. There's no sort of wear in time. The only thing that I found is I have a wide foot, so the laces, you know, it's one of those things where I had to sort of really loosen them to make it fit. And the traction is very good on these. I just find it works really well. I've worn mine like a few times during sort of autumn, winter and in wet weather, and not had any sort of issues with my other pairs of 1906s. So with the look and style, this one's got like a bright colourway, so this is one of those ones where it might not be for everyone, and to be honest I prefer the floating blue colour that released, but that seemed to be exclusive for CAYL by the sounds of it, and going for extortionate amount of money on the resale market. But that's the pair that I would prefer to have. But this is a nice pair, but it's not something that I would I suppose wear myself, in all honesty, because it's quite sort of bright yellow colour. And it gives you that trail shoe vibe, so that's what they're obviously known for, and you can sort of see that on the sneaker, and I went through some of the, I suppose, materials and choices and the lacing system as well. And it's still got the futuristic TK runner look. Obviously it's using the collab and the colourways itself to be slightly different, but it's still very unique. And in my opinion, I think you can sort of rock these during autumn winter, but it's not going to give you too much warmth, and that's my only sort of issue with these. But as a, you know, walking everyday shoe, they're pretty perfect. I'm not sure if I'd use them, you know, these particularly for hiking, but it gives you that sort of aesthetic though still. And because of the colourway and because they look very sporty, I'd say mainly sort of casual, so if you can sort of pull them off with joggers, it's probably the right thing really, or a pair of cargo pants. And this has a lacing system similar to sort of Salomon sneakers really, or any type of hiking sneakers. It's got this toggle mechanism, so you kind of loosen up the laces by pressing this inwards, and then it's also got a little area to elasticate system to basically put your laces through, and I find that works well. And then the tongue is very sort of thin as well, it's made up of that same sort of ripped up material. But you know, I've found that because I've had to loosen up the laces quite a lot, they don't have too much sort of flex on them, and it means that I had to sort of loosen this up a lot in order to basically fit into the sneaker. But if you're, you know, got a really sort of narrow foot, then you can potentially use this to push the toggle system through. So with the final thoughts, I do like the TPU overlays. It gives it more of a unique look and almost that translucent type effect, especially the rosewater pair from Action Bronson. And it still gives you that 2K runner aesthetic, almost, you know, going towards the trail shoe vibe as well. And at the end of the day, you know, 1906Rs, I've kind of gone on about it quite a few times, but they are very, very comfortable on foot, very neutral. And it still has a nice insole in this, so I'm presuming it's still Ortholite. It feels the same, and it's quite sort of nice to the touch. It's got obviously the dual branding going on inside, but I imagine it's Ortholite as well. With the cons, I think the cost is still, you know, that's what my only gripe with 1906Rs. I think some of them are priced quite a lot, and this is no different. And for that reason, I think the price is a little bit on the high side. So, with the ratings, I give the look and style a 4 out of 5. It's only because of the colourway. I actually like the overall execution. You can see that they've got their CAYL logo on this little area here. And I do like the execution overall, but it's just the colourway that's just not doing it for me. It's not one of those colourways that I would sort of tend to gravitate towards. But it also looks very similar to, I suppose, the Jound 2002R pair, not in terms of its colourway, but in terms of its execution, because even that one was more of a sort of hiking type piece of footwear that they tried to sort of do, and that one was, I think, Gore-Tex as far as I remember. And the comfort, like I said, 1906Rs are just an easy wear really, so that's why I've given it a 5. And the quality, I give it a 4, because it's using sort of mesh, these sort of ripstop mesh materials. It's not the most premium materials, but the overall execution is pretty good. I can see, like here, they've got a little bit of a defect going on with where the N-ergy system is, and you can sort of see that the paintwork's not quite right. But other than that, it's still, you know, nice build, usually from and what you'd expect from New Balance. And the pricing, I give that a 4 as well. I think it's just a little bit priced on the high side, so for me, I just want the 1906Rs to be lower in price. But overall, I still give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a nice looking sneaker. If you can pull off the colourway, then it's definitely one for you. But for me, it's not something that I would be looking to, I suppose, keep, because it's just not something that I know I wouldn't wear versus some of the other sneakers that I have.